This is a show that the highlighting of these shows that focused on these women who are who made their own village, and it also says the name of the village soon in this video. But anyway, these women were started by this woman here, and what it was she was married and very young, and she was beaten and mistreated and treated like a second-hand citizen. So she decided to make her own group because she found out that many women were going through that they had to get used to being mutilated when they were younger, sold off as brides to men twice their age, and they were beaten and mistreated and great everything. So they made this tribe, and it does not involve men. The sons are there for a certain amount of time until they reach 18. Then they must leave the tribe and go join the men. And the men ended up trying to attack them from time to time when they needed them. And what happened was the women drove them out of those villages that they were in a few times, actually. And now the men, they camped out in these nearby places. And when they started to try to attack them again, then the women just went ahead and sold different jewelry and things so that they can try to buy these men out, because the men were trying to keep them from, was trying to block the tourists from coming into the village so they can sell their wares so that they could buy the land. They wasn't trying to let these women make money, but they wasn't gonna let them do anything. So they bought out their town where the men stayed too. So the men are far away, and now they have to go into town to buy goats and different things. So when they go into the towns, these men look at them in awe, and they always wonder, oh, how are they gonna make it alone without men? But they seem to do it, and they do it pretty well. Now, it's they have to sell the jewelry and sell goat's milk, and they go and buy goats from the market, and they sell their wares to the tourists, and that's how they make their money. And so the men try to block it and make it hard for them. But anyway, they have lots of children in this village, so it's not like they weren't able to bore any children. There's plenty of children there. And of course, the girl children and the boy children are there, but the girl children have their own classes, and they teach them songs, and they teach them math, and they teach them skills that they can use in the real world, of course. And it has a pretty good curriculum. Now, this scene here is where there was a man here. They have boyfriends that don't live in the village, and that's who they have their children with. But they cannot come into the villages, so the ladies have to go out, but they come in and they don't bring the men with them. Now this here is where they sat down. They had a girl, and they sat down and told this guy and this woman that she had to deal with that the girl is not going to have get her genitals mutilated, and that she's going to have an education. And so he agreed with it, since he didn't get an education of his own. And he's not trying to hold her back because he didn't get it. So they had him sign a contract on those very things. And so they're not playing. And also, he's not allowed to come in the group or anything. And there's a very few men that they have there. So the few men that they have there are people that's going to sign the kids up for school, get people for certain responsibilities that they have. And then they have boyfriends outside of the tribes that live in other places. And they don't live in this area, okay? Boys and girls could be here, but all the boys and girls don't attend the school. Those are all girls teaching in the class because they don't have the boys intervening with them. But as you can see, there's some boys in the class. But there's a lot of children, a lot of boys, lots of girls. It's just that when the boys turn 18, they must join them in. And the ladies have certain contracts, okay, that they have to sign so that there'll be no ifs, ands about it, and no blurred lines where these people think that they can just, explain away them coming into the group or anything. They have to sign affidavits and different documents. The lady doesn't play. That was their first B4B movement, okay? And except the exception is that they do have boyfriends that say outside the village that they do still mate with and have children with, but they're not able to, spend time over there and have groups and stuff unless they're going in to sign contracts and or deal with signing up kids for school and making sure that these kids get their schooling. The ladies make sure that these children are washed and fed and clothed, and then the girls stay and become the women of the tribe. And what the women do, they make their own houses, okay? They cut up their own meat. They sell their own wares, but it's for the group, okay? So that's all I want to say. I think it's very fascinating. Talk to you soon. Stand up, ciao.